Preparing to live stream. I'll have the link in a second.
Now live streaming on YouTube. All right.
Still getting like the setting up.
Everybody loves technology. I guess I could start introing to kind of fill the air. Hello, everybody. It is I am Ginger, and we are the Not Ready for Quarantine players. We are here with a special script read of The Last Unicorn, and it is in honor of Dylan and Rick Gither, who passed away last month. So I have to thank everybody that is here for the read today because other than Steven and Watson, I think everybody else that's on this read, they don't even know the Githers. You know, they're here just because they want to support us. So I am super appreciative of everybody that is here today to join this read. The Githers were like the neighborhood house where, you know, you just went over and your last name was immediately Gither. Like you didn't go hungry, you know, they provided for everybody. You know, you just got in the van and went with them when they went and ran errands and stuff. Like they were just that family. And so Dylan and Rick were kind of like my quasi second or third and fourth brother. I ended up with four because I had Rick and Dylan as well. So it was kind of a shock when we lost them really suddenly last month. And this was Dylan's favorite movie. He had a picture of like the Red Bull and the unicorn in his living room, which if you have not seen this movie is a very visual movie. So it kind of makes sense for his aesthetic that he was into this movie. You could see even on our flyer, like, you know, he used to do cosplay and all that kind of stuff. And this is all completely up his alley. So I'm excited to do it. I hope we can do it justice, even though it is kind of more of a visual movie than a dialogue driven one, but we're going to do our best. But let me introduce the players and then we will just kind of get started. I'm Ginger. I am here as kind of the utility player. So I'm a lot of the extra little creatures and characters throughout the movie. Our main character, Lady Amalthea / the Unicorn, is played by Michelle, aka Mom. We love her. She's in Atlanta, literally has never met the Githers in her life, coming up here to help us, so we appreciate and love it. We also have Dad, aka Sean, as Prince Lear, also from Rochester, New York, has never met any of these people, so appreciate that they're here. Our main wizard, Schmendrick, is going to be played by Andrew Wasson. Super excited. We also have Miss Kenna as Molly Grew. Super excited. And we have Stephen Shore as King Haggard. I can't wait. I think it's going to be great. And as Rook, I'm excited. And then Danny Wilson is our fearless narrator. The hardest job in any script read, so deeply appreciate. If you've never seen any of our script reads, we're kind of ragtag. Our catchphrase is close enough. So, you know, we kind of come as we are and just try to have fun with it. Most of the time, we're just kind of literally just reading through. So it's not exactly a professional job, but we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of inside jokes and things. So you might hear some surprise nutcakes happening and not understand what that's about, but that's just our silliness. But we hope you will enjoy the show. And why don't we go ahead and have Danny start us off? Danny, your sound isn't coming in. That is the magic of live stream. We'll hopefully get that link going so that we can share as well. And while we're waiting, as you see, I do have Venmo up. That is for Dylan and Rick's sister, Sarah. Just anything that you have extra to help with, end of life costs and things, they would deeply appreciate. Obviously not required. Oh, I hear. Is that you, Danny? I almost heard you.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
got it.
there was some messiness with where the sound was coming from.
No worries.
Right. All right. We open on a lush and thriving forest in late afternoon. We see beautiful animation of it as we hear the sound of several different animals. Two huntsmen on horses ride in. The first has a black beard. The second is younger and has red hair and a feather in his cap. They're led by a hunting dog. As their horses trot off, we see a shadow of a unicorn in the grass.
I mislike the feel of these woods. Creatures that live in a unicorn's forest learn a little magic of their own in time, mainly concerned with disappearing.
Unicorns? I thought they only existed in fairy tales. This is a forest like any other, isn't it?
And why do the leaves never fall here? Or the snow? Why is it always spring here? I tell you, if there is one unicorn left in the world, and as long as it lives in this forest, we'll find no game to hunt here.
Let's turn around, hunt somewhere else.
All right.
They turn and ride to the edge of the forest. The elder huntsman turns back and calls out.
Stay where you are, poor beast. This is no world for you. Stay in your forest and keep your trees green and your friends protected. And good luck to you, for you are the last.
They ride away. Close up of a white female unicorn.
I'm the only unicorn there is? The last?
We segue into the first musical interlude and see beautiful imagery of an eagle soaring over the beautiful tree canopy. We're witnessing a day in the quiet, peaceful forest. Eventually, night falls, and the birds are sleeping cozily in their nests. The squirrels are in the hollow of a tree sleeping, and the bunnies are in a pile on the forest floor as their mother watches over. But the noble owl is at his perch in the tree, looking out for everyone. We suddenly hear a noise startle him, and his wings flutter in shock. We see a doe and her baby look up, startled by the noise as well. They watch the owl fly off. We transition to a pond where the unicorn is reflecting on the news.
That cannot be. Why would I be the last? What do men know? Because they have seen no unicorns for a while, does that mean we have all vanished? We do not vanish. There has never been a time without unicorns. We live forever. We're as old as the sky, old as the moon. We can be hunted, trapped. We can even be killed if we leave our forest, but we do not vanish. Am I truly the last?
A flower blossom lands on the surface of the pond, causing ripples that transition us to the next day. The unicorn is in a clearing and standing on a little hill. Suddenly, a blue butterfly flutters around her, singing,
Wave the flag for Hudson Highborn, show them how we stand. I am a roving gambler. How do you do?
Hello, butterfly. Welcome. Have you traveled very far?
How far would I travel, yes, sir, but to be where you are? Lay live still, but blood's a rover. Red Rover, let Charlie come over. Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home, my wild Irish rose?
The butterfly embraces the unicorn's horn briefly before fluttering back away.
Be a little respectful, butterfly. Do you know?
Excellent. Well, you're a fishmonger. You're my everything. You are my sunshine. You're old and gray and full of sleep. You're my pickle-faced, consumptive Mary Jane. Hey, hey.
Say my name then. You know my name. Tell it to me.
Your name is a golden bell hung in my heart. I would break my body to pieces to call you once by your name.
Say it if you know.
Rumpelstiltskin. Ha ha, gotcha.
I should know better than to expect a silly butterfly to know my name.
1, 2, 3, O'Larry.
Butterfly, in all your wanderings, have you seen others like me? Have you seen even one?
Oh, have you seen the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man?
Butterfly, even one. Tell me that you saw only one.
One? One alone, to be my own. Buckle down, Winsaki, bucky down. Go and catch a falling star.
It serves me right for even asking you. All butterflies know our songs and poetry and anything else they hear. I guess you meant well. Fly away, butterfly.
The butterfly starts surfing on a falling leaf. He rides it down to the pond surface and flies back up.
Oh, I must take the A train. Oh, I am a cook and a captain bold, and the mate of the Nancy Brig. Has anyone here seen Kelly?
The unicorn starts to walk away in frustration.
I hope you hear many more songs. I must find someone who knows me, who has seen others like me.
Unicorn. Old French unicorne. Latin unicornis. Literally one horn. Unus, one, and corno, horn. A fabulous animal resembling a horn with one horn. A horse with one horn. Hey, visible only to those who search and trust, and generally mistaken for a white mare. Unicorn.
Oh, you do know me. Please, all I want to know is if you've ever seen other unicorns like me somewhere in the world.
But see you later, alligator. Close cover before striking.
Butterfly, have you seen others? Where have they gone? Oh, puppy. Tell me which way I must go find them. He's like, unicorn? Where?
Right? No, listen. Don't listen to me. Listen. You can find the others if you are brave.
We suddenly see a dark path with the butterfly's shadow traveling down it.
They passed down all the roads long ago, and the Red Bull ran close behind them and covered their footsteps and did not give them wings.
Red Bull? What is the Red Bull?
Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. There's a lot of hold tights. His firstling bull, his majesty, and his horns are the horns of wild ox. With them he shall push the unicorns, all of them, to the ends of the earth. Listen, listen, listen quickly.
I am listening. Where are the other unicorns and what is the Red Bull?
Listen, listen, Linda. The king is in the counting house, counting out, counting out, counting. It's you or me, Muff. Hand to hand to hand to hand to hand.
He flies off, leaving a confused unicorn and a lot of confused audience members in his wake.
Did he drink the Red Bull?
Right?
He said I could find the other unicorns, but where? Or was the story of the Red Bull just another song? Oh, I could never leave this forest, but I must know if I'm the only unicorn left in the world. Suppose they are hiding somewhere far away. What if they're waiting for a surprise nutcake in need of my help?
The unicorn is imagining all the other unicorns experiencing what the butterfly is voicing over.
They passed down all along the roads long ago, and the Red Bull ran close behind them and covered their footprints.
The unicorn neighs in fear and begins running. She reaches the edge of the forest where all the animals of the wood are looking at her. She stares at them for a second, then turns and runs down the road leading away.
I must go quickly and come back as soon as I can.
The unicorn runs down the road that the butterfly showed her.
You can find the others if you are brave.
We see the unicorn running slower and slower through different landscapes. The greenery fades as they travel farther to reveal barren, dusty, leafless trees. Eventually, she's walking at a regular pace through deep snow. We segue to a new scene where it's no longer snowing and some of the greenery has returned. A fat old man is hoeing in his field as the unicorn walks up the road toward him.
Well, hello there, little one. Hello there, my dear. And just who might you belong to, a pretty little thing like you? This is creepy. Come on now, good girl, good Bessie. Curry you up, clean you off. You'll be the prettiest old mare anywhere.
We see the unicorn as he does, with no horn. He unfastens his belt and makes it a loop and starts making his way toward her in hopes of capturing her.
Mare? Mare? A horse? Is that what you take me for? Is that what you see?
So, easy, good girl. What a pretty sight you are. Feed you up, take you to the fair. Come on, horse.
A horse, am I? A horse indeed.
The unicorn hooks her horn through the belt, throws it to the ground, and runs off down the road, making the farmer lose his balance and fall.
Now there's a horse. My foot must have slipped.
It's later in the day, and the unicorn is sitting by the side of the road. A man driving a carriage passes by, and all he sees is a horse.
Oh, I've forgotten that men cannot see unicorns. That tracks. If men no longer know what they are looking at, there may well be other unicorns in the world, unknown and glad of it.
Another musical interlude starts, and we see the following scenes. The unicorn is looking down on a valley as leaves fall in the trees. The eagle from the opening credits takes wing behind her and transitions us through the scenes. The unicorn walking down the road, rain falling past a bridge. The unicorn is sleeping in the grass by the side of the road. A black caravan of wagons approaches. On the side of two of them, a black canvas is hung. In red letters, it says, Mommy Fortuna's Midnight Carnival. In smaller ones underneath, Creatures of Night Brought to Light. We see a bent old woman driving the foremost wagon. She has a hat shaped like a tree branch with a raven on it. She stops the wagon once she sees the unicorn.
Well, bless my old husk of a heart, and here I thought I'd seen the last of 'em. Here, you two.
We see two men get down from the second and third wagons. One is short and hunched with an eye patch. The other is tall and dressed like a wizard. We can't see his face yet.
If he knew, but I don't think I'll tell him. He'll think it's a horse for sure. Some wizard I hired.
She says this to the raven sitting on her hat. He gives her a knowing glance back.
Now, just what in hell was that you stopped for?
What do you think it is, Rook? What do you see lying there?
Dead horse.
You fool! But I knew that. What about you, wizard? What do you see with your sorcerer's sight?
Rook elbows the tall man and laughs. We see his face now. He has no beard, green eyes, and a pointed blue cap. He stares at the unicorn and sees her as she is. He's speechless. The old woman grabs his collar and pulls his face down to her level.
Answer me, you juggler.
I see a horse, just a white mare.
I thought so. All right, it's a white mare. I want her for the carnival. The last cage is empty.
Don't need rope.
The rope that could hold that mare has not been woven. We'll make do with the cold iron bars.
Oh, she's waking.
I'll cast a sleep on her. Okay. Grab Gagrabitch. I don't know. Nichow.
Something emanates from the old woman's fingers. It materializes into a solid, curved, glowing blue horn in front of the unicorn's real one. The unicorn falls into deep sleep.
Now cage her. She'll sleep till sunrise.
It's now morning. The cages are arranged in a circle in a drab forest clearing. Rook is showing a bunch of villagers around the creatures in the Midnight Carnival.
This here is the manticore. Man's head, lion's body, tail of a scorpion. Creatures of night brought to light.
The villagers murmur in shock and awe.
Here's the dragon. Breathes fire that now and then, mostly at people who poke it, little boy. Its inside is an inferno, but its skin is so cold it burns. Speaks 17 languages badly and is subject to gout. Creatures of night brought to light. The satyr ladies keep back.
The tall man sneaks up to the unicorn's cage while Rook and the villagers are distracted by the tour.
I shouldn't be here, but quickly, tell me what you see. Don't be afraid. Look at your fellow legends and tell me what you see.
As she describes them, the animals shift into reality for us as well.
Oh, what he calls a manticore looks to be no more than a shabby, toothless lion. And she has them believing that poor old ape with a twisted foot is a satyr. Illusions, deceptions, mirages. Your mommy Futorna could not truly change things.
That's true. She can only disguise, and only for those eager to believe whatever comes easiest.
We hear Rook again.
The Midgard serpent. It's got the whole world in its coils.
The serpent turns into a regular old snake that could totally just escape the cage.
No, she can't turn cream into butter, but she can make a lion look like a manticore to eyes that want to see a manticore, just as she put a false horn on a real unicorn to make them see the unicorn. I know you. If I were blind, I would know who you are.
Who are you?
I'm called Schmendrick, the magician. You wouldn't have heard of me. I entertain the sightseers as they gather for the show. It's not much of a job for a real magician. I've had worse.
The unicorn looks at a nearby cage.
That one is real. That is a harpy Selenia?
The harpy calls out maliciously. She's gripping her perch so tightly it starts to shake and crumple slightly.
Yes, the old woman caught her by chance asleep just as she took you. Oh, she should have never meddled with a real harpy, or a real unicorn for that matter, because the truth melts her magic, always.
The villagers have made it to the harpy's cage. She glowers at them and caws angrily.
She's going to free herself very soon now, and she must not catch you still caged.
Rook sees Schmendrick by the unicorn's cage.
Go on now, get away from there. You know what she told you.
Schmendrick bows clumsily to the unicorn and whispers to her.
Don't be afraid. Schmendrick is with you. Do nothing till you hear from me.
He hurries off past the manticore and is out of sight. Rook and the villagers stop at the unicorn's cage.
The unicorn.
A unicorn!
The villagers marvel at her beauty. A woman visibly tears up. You can see in the reflection of her eyes, she sees the unicorn as she actually is. We transition, and now it's dark. The villagers have left, and Rook is staring at the harpy. Mommy Fortuna is next to him. The harpy's eyes are glowing red.
I don't care how many damn spells you got on her. Get rid of that harpy. I think about it all the time. What she's going to do to us. Get rid of her, mommy.
Fool, be still. No other witch in the world holds a harpy captive, and none ever will. I choose to keep her. I can turn her into wind if she escapes, or snow, or into 7 notes of music.
The harpy screams and begins beating her wings. The cage shakes. The bars glow and flash.
She's breaking through.
He makes a break for it, but Mommy Fortuna stays the course. She starts to cast a spell.
No, not yet, not yet. You're mine. If you kill me, you're still mine.
The flashing stops and the cage stops shaking. The harpy is silent, but still glowering at Mommy Fortuna. She notices the unicorn watching all of this and addresses her.
The harpy's as real as you are, and just as immortal, and she was just as easy to capture if you want to know.
Do not boast, old woman. Your death sits in that cage and she hears you.
Oh, she'll kill me one day or another, but she will remember forever that I caught her, that I held her prisoner. So there's my immortality, eh? Now you are out on the road, hunting for your own death, and I know where it awaits you. I know him, that one.
Do you speak of the Red Bull? Tell me if you do, and where he is, if you know.
The Red Bull of King Haggard. So you know of the bull. Well, he'll not have you. You belong to me.
You know better. Keep your poor shadows if you will, but let me go, and let her go. I cannot see her cage. She is real like me. We are 2 sides of the same magic. Let her go.
I'd quit show business first. Do you think I don't know what the true witchery is just because I do what I do? There's not a witch in the world that hasn't laughed at Mommy Fortuna and her homemade horrors, but there's not one of them who would have dared.
The harpy and me, we are not for you.
Who are you for then? Do you think those fools knew you without any help from me? No, I had to give you a horn so they could see. These days it takes a cheap carnival trick to make folks recognize a real unicorn. But the Red Bull will know you when he sees you, so you're safer here. You should thank me for protecting you.
She walks off. It's now later that night. Schmendrick sneaks up to the unicorn's cage.
Schmendrick is with you. I'm sorry, but I couldn't get away any sooner.
There's never been a spell on me before. There's never been a world which I was not known.
Oh, I know exactly how you feel. It's a very rare person who is taken for what he truly is.
Will you help me?
If not you, no one. You're my last chance.
Can you truly set me free?
Mommy Fortuna doesn't think so. She sees me as a clumsy fraud, a trickster. But I am Schmendrick the magician, the last of the Red Hod Swamis. I too am real, like you, like her. Yes, I will help you.
Where's the other man?
Rook? Oh, don't worry about him. I asked him a riddle, and it always takes that lout all night to solve riddles. And now, Shara Seneveril Morland Sudai, Suni Numera Ede Subai.
The unicorn sees a forest with green leaves, and her forest creatures looking at her. But the mirage soon disappears, leaving the cage behind.
I'm sorry. I would have liked that one to be the spell that freed you. That's okay. Next one. Let's try this one. Okay. Uchulis Sulai Esumini Gambanjano. This is the super spell. The bars are now as brittle as old cheese, which I crumble and scatter so. Ouch!
Schmendrick grabs the bars, and they flash white and burn his hands. He shakes them, trying to get the pain off.
Whoa, I must have gotten the surprise nutcake wrong. It comes and it goes.
Try again once more. There's very little time left. Hurry.
Schmendrick whistles 3 notes, then sprinkles some powder over the cage, which begins to shrink. He mumbles a bit to himself and waves his hands at the cage, which starts to pulsate and move in closer to the unicorn.
Stop the bars!
No, Serenin Perinin. Ugh!
The bars stop moving inward.
I dare no more. The next time I might not be able to.
Try again. The spell was wrong, but there was true magic in it. Try again.
My dear, you deserve the services of a great wizard, but I'm afraid you'll have to be glad of the aid of a second-rate pickpocket.
Schmendrick procures a key ring, which he tries on the lock, which is shaped like a lion's mouth. As he goes to try a lock, it starts to laugh at him and mock him.
Lock? Some magician. Some magician.
Turn blue.
The other animals are now watching expectantly as he continues to try and unlock the cage. The harpy in particular is very interested to see how this turns out.
Hurry.
Step
The
down,
lock
lady.
groans.
Sorry.
The lock groans as Schmendrick opens it.
Step down, lady. You are free.
The spell on the unicorn disperses as she leaps out of the cage. Rook enters.
Okay, Smendrick, I give up. Why is the raven like a writing desk?
The unicorn leaps into the bushes. Rook doesn't see her.
The cage. You have taken my keys. Why, you thin thief. She'll string you on a barbed wire to make a necklace for the harpy.
Rook starts walking back toward Mommy Fortuna's wagon.
Me, thin? Run!
He runs at Rook and jumps him. They struggle on the ground. The unicorn goes around to the cages and opens the doors with her horn, freeing the animals inside.
You pile of stones. I'll set all your toenails growing in when you mess with me.
Some magician. You couldn't turn cream into a surprise nutcake, you Smendrick, you.
Schmendrick bashes the keyring into Rook's head. Rook lets go and falls off in a daze. The animals are free. Only the harpy remains as the unicorn faces her.
No, she'll kill you. Run, she'll kill you if you set her free.
Let me free. We are sisters, you and I.
The unicorn hesitates, but touches her horn to the lock. The harpy breaks the cage with her wings and goes free. She lunges at the unicorn and misses. She circles around and lunges again, behind the unicorn, at Mommy Fortuna.
Not alone. You never could have freed yourselves alone. I held you.
She opens her arms as if to embrace the harpy's death lunge. She is struck down, and the harpy settles down to feed on her body.
Run, run. You must run. Run away from here now.
No, come with me. Come with me.
We hear the harpy cawing and Rook screaming for a short second. Schmendrick winces.
Don't look back and don't run. You must never run from anything immortal. It attracts their attention.
The harpy circles again, but doesn't see the two walking away. She flies away, finally free. It's later in the evening, and we see the raven has escaped and is hiding in a tree. As we pan down to the roots, we see Schmendrick is huddled at the foot of it, the unicorn standing over him.
Oh, that poor old woman. I didn't want to. I didn't know.
She chose her death long ago. It was the fate she wanted.
And you? You have no regrets, as I do?
I can never regret. I can feel sorrow, but it's not the same thing.
Where will you go now?
I am looking for others like me. Have you seen them, magician?
No, I have never seen anyone like you. Not while I was awake, anyway.
A butterfly told me of a red bull who pushed all the other unicorns to the end of the earth, and Mommy Fortuna spoke of a King Haggard. So now I'm going where they are to learn whatever they know.
Take me with you, for luck or laughs, for the unknown.
You may come with me if you like, though I wish you'd ask for some other reward for having freed me.
Well, I thought about it, but you could have never granted my true wish.
No, I cannot turn you into something you are not. I cannot turn you into a true magician.
She begins to travel down the road, and he follows in her wake.
That's all right, don't worry about it.
I'm not. What do you know of King Haggard?
I have heard that he's an old man who rules over barren country by the sea. Some say that Hagrid's land was green and soft once before he came, but the minute he touched it, it became hard and gray.
That's
Damn.
what she said. They are crossing a river by stepping on stones. We can see some sheep grazing in the hills. The unicorn steps across first.
Now tell me about the Red Bull.
The Red Bull? I've heard he gives you wings. I've heard too many tales to tell you the truth. I've heard that the bull is real, that the bull is a ghost.
He trips over a stone and stumbles on the unicorn, who moves away quickly at his touch.
Sorry.
We see that they're now traveling up a mountain.
I've heard that the Red Bull protects Hagrid, or else that he keeps him a prisoner in his own castle. There are so many stories.
The unicorn thinks back to the conversation she had with the butterfly.
They passed down all the roads long ago, and the Red Bull ran close behind them and covered their footprints.
The unicorn neighs and shakes her head wildly before continuing on with Schmendrick in tow. We see they're now in a forest, and Schmendrick is juggling one orange, which turns into many, which then juggle by themselves. He picks one up and offers it to the unicorn.
Want one?
When she doesn't respond, he shrugs and puts them all back into his surprise nutcake.
How much further is it?
This is the edge of Hagrid's kingdom. It's a very, very dangerous country. Mommy Fortuna never came within miles of here.
The sound of hooves approaches.
Listen! Oh, I was afraid of that. Run swiftly, hide yourself. We'll find each other later.
Why? Who are they?
Outlaws.
The unicorn hides in the bushes while Schmendrick climbs a tree. The outlaws approach. One very large man with stubble stops his horse as he nears Schmendrick's tree.
Whoa. Well, what are we here?
The tip of Schmendrick's hat protrudes from the tree.
Hi, lads. Mind your heads now. It's raining ninnies.
He laughs raucously and pulls Schmendrick down from the tree and onto his horse. The unicorn watches sadly as they take off with her friend. We find ourselves at a campfire at night. Several very miserable-looking men are sitting around drinking something from mugs. One man spits out the liquid in his cup.
Rat soup. Again, rat soup.
At least she could have used a different rat, the third night anyway.
The outlaws ride in. Schmendrick is draped over the large man's horse sideways.
Put me down, you fool!
The large man dunks Schmendrick's head into the horse's back.
Hey, lad, quiet there. You're for Captain Coley himself, you are.
A fat, red-haired man dressed in richer rags steps forward.
Well, Jack Jingley, and who is it you bring us, comrade or captive?
I don't know what he is myself. What happened, Coley? We were out looking for travelers like always.
Captain Cully looks around and shouts toward the rest of the crew.
Add some more water to the soup, love. There's company.
A thin, middle-aged woman with wild hair the color of dead weeds pushes through the ring of men.
I'll not have it, Coley. Not another mouth to feed. There's no soup thicker than sweat as it is.
My love, where's your Greenwood hospitality?
The woman looks at Schmendrick.
And who's this long lout? I don't like the look of him. Slit his wizard.
She had meant to say either Weasand or Gizzard, and had said both. Schmendrick gets off the horse.
I wouldn't do that, because I am Schmendrick the magician, and you, sir, must be the famous Captain Cully, boldest of the bold and freest of the free.
Schmendrick had never heard of him in his life.
That I am.
He's guessing. Coley, gut him before he does you the way the last one did.
Well, that's only Molly Grew's way, but she has a good heart. A good heart.
He puts his arm on her shoulder, but she brushes him off.
Off with you.
And this lady, don't tell me, she must be your faithful and beautiful companion.
Maybe he does know.
Ah, yes, splendid woman. You're welcome here, sorcerer. Come to the fire and tell me you've heard of dashing Captain Cully and his band of freemen. Have a surprise nutcake on me.
We back away from the campfire and find that the unicorn has followed and is watching in the distance.
You're a lucky guest this evening, magician. My minstrel, Willie Gentle, here, was about to inspire us by singing one of the adventures of the bold Captain Cully and his men.
General groans and complains from the men.
Nay, Willie, not that thing again.
Willie, sing us a true song. Sing us one about Robin Hood.
There is no Robin Hood. Robin Hood is a myth.
Schmendrick gets up and begins murmuring over and over again. The unicorn is watching in the distance.
Magic, do as you will. Magic, magic, do as you will.
A wind starts up.
And now, lads, with that out of the way.
Look! Oh, look there!
A tall figure dressed in green comes striding into the campsite, with an almost as tall maiden next to him. Captain Cully rushes to meet them.
Sir, madam, I welcome you to my domain. My name is Captain Cully of the Greenwood.
He bows and they pass right through him. They're transparent.
Oh, Robin! And Marion!
Other figures come walking through the campsite.
Friar Tuck! That's Friar Tuck there! And Will Scarlet!
What is this? This is not happening. Robin Hood is a myth. We are the reality. Magic is magic, but the truth is us, right?
Robin! Mr. Hood, sir! Little John! Will! Wait for me! Robin! Marion!
And all of Captain Cully's merry men have run after the mirage.
Wait! Wait for me! Marion!
Molly Grew also runs after them. Schmendrick is laughing and rolling on the floor.
It worked, it worked. I said magic, do as you will, and it worked.
Captain Cully holds a knife at Schmendrick's neck.
That was a dangerous diversion, Sir Sorcerer.
He's no hedge wizard, Cully. I don't know what he is, to tell you the truth. Tie him up, and do you guard him tonight, Cully.
They tie him to a large tree with his face in its trunk.
And in the morning, we'll see what's to be done with the wizard who can call upon Robin Hood. Should be worth something, eh, Cully?
Yes, indeed. We'll sell him. We'll both gentlemen of leisure in a month's time. Ha ha.
They walk off and Schmendrick looks like he's motorboating the tree, which sounds very uncomfortable. Slightly later, he remains there, getting frustrated.
I don't even care. Gotonius Busni Varsinsen Basti Gumtina Crosti Stormily Hasti.
Weird lights. The tree comes alive.
Oh. Oh. Oh, I love you. I love you. Love, 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 love.
Oh, what have I done?
Always. Always. Faithfulness beyond any man's deserving. I will keep the color in your eyes when no other in the world remembers your name.
She mushes Schmendrick's face in her tree boobs.
There is no immortality but a tree surprise nutcake.
Love this. Oh no, I'm engaged to a Douglas fir. Help, unicorn, where are you?
Lightning. The unicorn is illuminated and she begins walking toward the tree.
Oh, gulls and fire blight! She shall never have you, that hussy! We will perish together.
A storm brews around the tree as the unicorn cuts Schmendrick's rope with her horn. The tree goes dead again. Schmendrick follows her bashfully. We find them later on trekking through the forest.
Did you see me? Were you watching? Did you see what I made?
Yes, it was true magic.
It was something. It's gone now, but I had it. It had me, but it's gone. I couldn't hold it.
Molly Grew is in wait ahead of them.
Leaving us so early, magician.
The unicorn jumps into the bushes by the side of the road. Too late. Molly Grew approaches the unicorn.
No. Can it truly be? Where have you been? Where have you been? Damn you, where have you been?
Don't you talk to her that way.
I'm here now.
Oh, and where were you 20 years ago? 10 years ago? Where were you when I was new? When I was one of those innocent young maidens you always come to? How dare you? How dare you come to me now when I am this?
She begins crying. The unicorn puts her head in Molly's lap, and she caresses it.
Can you really see her? Do you really know what she is?
If you had been waiting to see a unicorn as long as I have,
She's the last unicorn in the world.
it would be the last unicorn in the world that came to Martley Grew. It's all right. I forgive you.
Well, it's time for us to go now.
Molly Grew stands up.
I'm ready.
You can't come with us. We're on a quest.
Can't I? Ask her.
Never. I, Schmendrick the magician, forbid it. And be wary of rousing a wizard's wrath. Rousing a wizard's wrath. Be wary of making a magician angry. If I choose, I could turn you into a frog.
I should laugh myself sick. Have sense, man. What were you going to do with that last unicorn in the world? Keep her in a cage?
Oh, you don't even know where we're going.
Do you think it matters to me?
We are journeying to King Haggard's country. Haggard's country. Wrong story. Haggard's country to find the Red Bull.
Well, you're going the wrong way.
She begins walking in a different direction with the unicorn in tow. Defeated, Schmendrick follows them. It's later in the day, and the lush forest has turned into a brown, barren valley.
I'm sorry, but you were going the wrong way, magician.
Well, it was a shortcut.
The unicorn neighs as if laughing, and they continue on to a cliff overlooking a decrepit, evil-looking castle.
Haggard's fortress. We'll be there tomorrow if we walk all night.
Where does King Hadrid keep the Red Bull?
Sorry, that struck me as funny. I have heard that he roams at night and lies up by day in a great cavern beneath the castle, but we'll know soon enough.
Another musical interlude starts as the travelers make their way to the fortress. The party is lying down against trees. The moon gives off a fiery red light which reflects on their sleeping faces. We hear thunder and Molly wakes.
Benjit, the light!
The castle has a red firefly light emanating from it. It suddenly bursts and covers the forest. It transforms into the Red Bull. The unicorn runs away in fear. He chases her across the forest, never losing ground. He eventually gets ahead of her and cuts her off. She turns and runs the other way, but he's charging behind her.
Do something!
He's driving her. He can't wait to kill her, or he can't want to kill her, or he would have done it by now.
The chase continues.
He's driving her the way he drove the others, to the castle, to King Haggard.
Please, please do something!
What can I do? Do you think the Red Bull likes card tricks?
They stop running. The unicorn looks defeated and starts to acquiesce to the bull's demands.
If I could, I'd change her into some other creature, some beast too humble for the bull to be concerned with, but that would take a real magician with real magic, and I can't pretend anymore.
But you do. You have magic, but you can't find it. But it's there. You called Robin Hood, and there is no Robin Hood. You have all the power you need if you dare look for it.
The unicorn sadly makes her way toward the fortress.
Please, it's not fair.
Run, run now, run.
The unicorn doesn't listen to him. She plods on, depressed. Schmendrick tries to run in front of the Red Bull, and he is thrown aside.
Schmendrick!
The unicorn starts running again. Wow. With the Red Bull chasing her again. Schmendrick gets up and starts chanting like he did at the campfire.
Magic, magic, do as you will.
Lines of power stream from his fingers toward the unicorn. He slowly falls to his knees and then his face. The Red Bull noses a white shape on the ground and then walks off. Molly rushes to the side of what used to be the unicorn.
What have you done?
She rushes over and holds up the head of a human woman, white hair. A red mark that looks like a star is on her forehead.
What have you done? What have you done?
Schmendrick joins her.
What do you mean, what have I done? Only saved her from the Red Bull by magic, that's all I've done. By magic. By my own true magic. Doubtless you are wondering how I plan to return her to her proper shape. Wonder not. The power will come to me whenever I need it. And one day it will come to me when I call. You were right, you were right.
I didn't know you meant to turn her into a human girl.
The Red Bull came for a unicorn, so she had to become something else. The magic chose the shape, not I. I am a bearer. I am a dwelling. I am a messenger.
You are an idiot. Do you hear me? You lost her. You trapped her in a human body. She'll go mad.
The girl begins to stir. She wakes up and tries to stand.
I can change her back. Don't worry about it. I can change her back.
The girl falls and goes on all fours.
What have you done to me?
Oh no. Oh, please, no.
You see, I couldn't think of anything else I could do to save you.
What have you done to me?
She hugs herself, and her voice sounds like a neigh.
I'm a unicorn. I'm a unicorn.
Don't. Don't. You'll hurt yourself.
She drapes Schmendrick's cloak around the girl's shoulders.
Be still. The magic knew what it was doing. In this shape alone, you have some hope of reaching King Haggard and finding out what has become of the other unicorns.
I wish you had let the Red Bull just take me. I wish you left me to the harpy. I can feel this body dying all around me.
But it's only for a little while, I promise you. Soon you'll have your true shape again forever.
Why not now? Schmendrick, you can't let her stay like this. You can't possibly.
Why not? Unless you think you could have defeated the bull if you had met him again.
No.
She takes the cloak herself and holds it in place.
I'm afraid of this human body more than I was of the Red Bull. Afraid.
We're at a battlement atop King Haggard's tower. 2 sentries are on guard. The first is slower and older than the second.
A man and 2 women coming here?
The young girl. She looks so strange. There's a newness to her.
We are at the front gate of the castle. The 2 sentinels await the 3 travelers. The pale girl has Schmendrick's cloak around her shoulders, and the first sentinel bars their way.
Give your names.
I am Schmendrick the magician. This is Molly Grew, my helper, and this is the Lady Amalthea. We seek audience with King Haggard.
State your business with King Haggard.
I will, but to King Haggard himself.
With this, the first sentinel leads them into the castle and through a dark stairway. The floor shakes abruptly and a roar is heard. The Lady Amalthea cries out.
No, it's all right. Don't be afraid. It's just a surprise nutcake.
The party enters a dark room with 1 window and an old stone seat at one end.
This is King Haggard's throne room.
Throne room? This is a cell. This is a tomb. Take us to King Haggard.
The first sentinel unlaces his helmet and takes it off. He has a gray face and a thin beard.
I'm King Haggard. This is Prince Lear, my son.
No.
The second sentinel takes off his helmet to reveal a friendly face with red hair.
I feel like I'm typecast. Hi, glad to meet you.
Haggard takes his place at the throne.
What is your concern with me?
We seek, sire, to enter your service, and that sounds very creepy.
I need no servants.
Oh, but surely, sire, a magician, a fine cook,
You're losing my interest, and that is very dangerous. My court consists of 4 men-at-arms.
poor. But the pleasures of the court, sire, the music, the talk, the hunts and the balls and the great feasts.
They are nothing to me. I have known them all, and they have not made me happy. I will keep nothing near me that does not make me happy. Oh, I also keep one magician.
Oh, a magician, huh? What's his name?
He is called Mabruk. He is known in his trade as the magician's magician. I can see no reason at all to replace him with some vagrant, nameless, clownish.
I can. He doesn't. This marvelous Mabrook doesn't make you happy.
Molly, be still.
How would you know?
Well, just look at you.
Schmendrick grabs her arm to quiet her.
Molly!
Did you hear that, Mabruk?
In a haze of smoke, an old man with harsh eyes appears. He wears a crown and a spangled robe.
I'm your magician's favorite magician. Anyway, what does your majesty wish of me? Shandrick, my dear boy, how nice to see you.
He walks over to Schmendrick.
He has come to take your place. He is now my royal magician.
See?
Shh!
The legendary Schmendrick, the runeless wonder. I realize your majesty is a great collectity of oddities, but
The woman is right. A master magician has not made me happy. I'll see what an incompetent one can do. You may go, Mabruk.
I am not packed off as easily as that.
A wind rises in the room. Lear steps in front of Amalthea, hand on his sword hilt. Amalthea walks past him. The mark on her forehead begins to glow. She stares down the magician in a battle of wills until the wind dies down, and the only sound left is Mabrook's laughing. Prince Lear puts his hand on Mabrook's shoulder.
Come on, old man. I'll write you a reference, which is a really weird thing to say at a certain point like this, but we're going to roll with it anyway.
Haggard, I would not be done, or I would not be you for all this world. You have let your doom in by the front door, but it will not depart that way. Farewell, poor Haggard. Farewell.
He laughs and disappears the same way he appeared. The Lady Amalthea is looking out the window. Haggard comes toward her. She turns at his approach.
Don't.
You're a girl. I will not touch you. What are you looking at?
The sea.
Ah, yes. The sea is always good. The sea is nothing that I can look at for very long. Or there's nothing I cannot look at for very long except the sea.
He stares into her eyes and sees in them her forest with woodland animals in it. This seems to upset him.
What the fuck is wrong with your eyes? Why can I not see myself in your eyes?
The lady does not answer. King Haggard addresses Schmendrick.
Who is she?
Oh, your majesty, the Lady Amalthea is my niece.
I want to know who she is.
Father, what difference does it make? She's here.
For once, you are right. She is here. They're all here. And whether they mean my doom or not, I will look at them for a while. You may come and go as you please. My secrets guard themselves. Will yours do the same?
He walks off. Prince Lear gently approaches Lady Amalthea.
Say, I know there is some cloth, fine satin. My father has a giant collection of fabric. It's very strange for me. You could make a dress. I believe he has some sewing skills that he learned on a place called Drag Race. But please, lady, let me help you. What can we do for you? Trust me.
Another musical interlude begins, and Lady Amalthea is looking at the sea. Molly is working as a kitchen maid washing dishes. Prince Lear is going out to battle a dragon and offering the head to Amalthea who is not impressed by it. King Haggard spies on them suspiciously. A copper and ashes cat with an eye patch knocks Schmendrick's juggling balls out of the ring and chases them to the kitchen, where we find Lear and Molly. Lear is peeling potatoes and Molly is helping him.
Oh, and then she looked at me, and I was sorry I had killed the thing. Sorry for killing a dragon. Imagine. Ow.
Prince Lear had nicked himself with a knife.
Cut away from yourself, not toward. You know, Your Highness, I really think you should try something else.
But what's on the earth that I haven't tried? Giants, ogres, black knights, terrible tasks, fatal riddles. Molly, for her sake, I've become a hero. My great deeds mean nothing to her.
Then perhaps the Lady Amalthea is not to be won by great deeds.
Who is she, Molly? Where did she come from? I don't know any more about her than I did the first day that she came here,
Your Highness,
except that I wish to serve her, as you do, to help her find whatever she has come here to find. I wish to be whatever she has most need of. Will you tell her so?
I think if you told her yourself.
But she never speaks to me, Molly. Not a word at all in this time.
We transition to a balcony overlooking the sea. Molly Grew walks toward the Lady Amalthea, who is staring over the balcony at the sea.
You're cruel to him. You might give him a surprise nutcake at the very least. He only wishes you to think of him.
Molly, who am I? Why am I here? What is it that I am seeking in this strange place day after day? It's not men. I knew a moment ago, but I have forgotten.
The unicorns, if you are not the last.
Lady Amalthea breaks out into song. We see her standing in front of a mural with a majestic unicorn on it. She then stands facing in the same direction of the unicorn, as if trying to remember she is one. She roams the castles, and Haggard definitely has a thing for unicorns. There's tons of paintings of them all around. She catches herself in the mirror and seems to be sickened by her current form. She returns to Molly and heads back to look at the sea.
I must go to him. I must face the bull again and discover what he has done with them before I forget myself forever. But I don't know where to find him, and I am lonely.
She starts singing again, and she starts daydreaming. In the clouds, we see a unicorn form, and she reaches out to touch it, but can't. Molly tries to comfort her.
Schmendrick will find a way down to the Red Bull. He has been searching every day.
I hope for no help from him. He's no magician now, but the king's poor clown.
He's doing it for you. He plays the fool for Haggard, trying to divert him from wondering what you are. You do wrong to mock him.
Forgive me.
She runs away into the castle, upset.
My lady!
The castle shakes and the bull roars. Molly gasps. The copper and ashes cat seen before walks down the stairs toward her.
The bull be going out. He goes out every sundown to hunt for the strange white beast that escaped him. You know that perfectly well, so don't be stupid.
He heads down the stairs and Molly follows him.
Har har. So that's be a unicorn. She is very beautiful.
How do you know she's a unicorn?
No cat out of its finest fur could ever be deceived by appearances, unlike human beings who seems to enjoy it. Ye have a very little time. Soon there'll be a human woman in that body, and no unicorn at all ever again. It may be that she'll marry the good prince who loves her, and I can't find an accent.
Molly picks him up and takes him to the kitchen. She puts the cat down on the table and rubs him between the ears. He closes his eye.
Oh, Purr. Do that. Yes, that'd be nice.
She stops rubbing him.
Creepy little cat?
That's what she said.
No, she's Celeste.
The cat opens his eye with an annoyed look.
Well then, she must do what she came to do. She must take the king's way down to the Red Bull.
Molly grabs him and picks him up. He lets out a squeak.
Squeak!
Is there a way? Tell me the way. Tell me where we must go.
Avast! Hark ye closely, mum. When the wine drinks itself, when the skull speaks, when the clock strikes the right time, only then will you find the tunnel that leads to the Red Bull's lair. Har har. There be a trick to it, of course.
He slithers out of Molly's hands and lands on his feet.
Why won't you help me? Why must you speak in riddles?
Because I be what I be. I would tell you what you want to know if I could, mum, but I be a cat, and no cat anywhere ever gave anyone a straight answer. Har har.
Is it a pirate cat?
It looks like
The
a pirate
pirate
in the
kitty.
movie.
And it says the pirate.
Okay.
The pirate kitty lifts up his eye patch to reveal a perfectly good eye. We're suddenly seeing the balcony of the castle. Snow and wind predominate. King Haggard snaps his fingers to summon Schmendrick, who loses his coat trying to get his cards out. Haggard laughs silently. In the kitchen, Molly is giving Schmendrick a hot soup.
I can't do this very much longer. He had me juggling teacups for him all night long. Teacups with tea in them.
Schmendrick, I didn't tell you I found the skull. The one with the cat, the one the cat was talking about. It's up on a pillar in the Great Hall, and the clock.
Molly, he knows. King Haggard knows what Lady Amalthea is, I'm sure of it.
What can we do?
Prince Lear comes down the stairs into the kitchen.
Molly, I've practically got the whole poem now if you wanted to look at it.
Oh, yes, of course, Your Highness, whenever you like.
We're suddenly in the middle of a dream sequence involving scenes from the Midnight Carnival disaster. Lady Amalthea awakes in a bit of panic. Lear's voice can be heard coming up the steps. He's holding a poem in his hands.
The lift of longing, the crash of loss, the bitterness of cross, boss, moss. Damn.
Lady Amalthea, in her nightgown, comes down the other side of the steps, a mad and frightened look in her eyes.
Good evening, my lady.
Who are you?
I'm Lear. Don't you know me? I'm Lear.
Lear, Prince Lear.
You were dreaming, my lady.
Well, I'm always dreaming, even when I'm awake. It is never finished. I will not trouble you, my lord prince.
She begins to walk away hurriedly.
Oh, trouble me, please trouble me. I would court you with more grace if I knew how. I wish you wanted something.
Drown out my dreams. Keep me from remembering. Whatever wants me to remember it.
Prince Lear starts singing, because that's what you do.
Oh,
We see a
Lord.
montage of Prince Lear trying to write his poem for Lady Amalthea. He takes a break from his prose to go to the balcony looking over the sea and sees Lady Amalthea, as per usual, looking out at the sea from her balcony. She notices him watching her, and for no real reason, a white dove flies between the balconies. They randomly both have doves and let them go off the sides of their balconies. The two doves fly off together and make their way back to the unicorn's forest. Then they transform into Lady Amalthea and Prince Lear. Someone was a little high when they wrote this, but I don't know if that person is referencing themselves or the writers of the movie. Now they're singing together and walking through the forest. They walk up to a pond, and on the other side of it is the unicorn in her true form. Lady Amalthea dips her fingers in the pond and makes some ripples, and now we're back on the balcony, but now Prince Lear is with her. They finish their song and kiss. We're suddenly in the Great Hall. Schmendrick is staring at a great broken clock chiming continuously, out of tune, and a skeleton nearby.
Great. Just what I need, riddles. When the wine drinks itself, when the skull speaks, when the clock strikes the right time, as if I didn't have enough troubles. I wonder what time it is.
We hear the voices of Lear and Amalthea descending the staircase. Schmendrick hides in a corner.
Well, of course, irritable birth. Anybody can see that. I mean, you really can't be that ridiculous magician's niece. That's out of the question.
They pass by. Schmendrick comes out of hiding and gazes after them. Lady Amalthea is back on her balcony overlooking the sea. She seems to sense she's not alone.
Your Majesty.
King Haggard creeps up to her.
Love is slowing you down, my lady. I'll catch her at last if you love much more.
Look, your son is coming home.
We can see Prince Lear on his noble steed making his way to the fortress in the distance.
Lear? He's none of mine. I picked him up on a doorstep where some peasant had left him. I was thinking that I had never been happy and, well, never had a son. It was pleasant enough at first, but it died quickly. There was only one thing that has ever made me happy,
What is that?
other than men. Do not mock me. I know very well what you have come for, and you know very well what that I have them. Try to take them if you can, but do not mock me.
He shakes her by the shoulder.
My lord, in all your castle, in all your realm, there is nothing of yours that I desire. Good day, your majesty.
She turns to leave, but King Haggard shouts suddenly at her, stopping her in her tracks.
I know you. I almost knew you as soon as I saw you coming on the road with your cook and your clown. Since then, there's no movement of yours that has not betrayed you. A pace, a glance, a turn of the head, the flash of your throat as you breathe, even your way of standing perfectly still. They were all my spies. You made me wonder for a little while, but your time is done.
He looks out to the sea, and his voice fills with wonder.
The tide is turning. Come and see it. Come here.
She obeys. He points to the sea.
There they are. There they are. They're mine. They belong to me. The Red Bull gathered them for me one by one, and I bade him drive each one into the sea. Now they live there, and every tide carries them within an easy step of the land, but they dare not come out to the water. They are afraid of the Red Bull. I like to watch them. They fill me with joy. The first time I felt it, I thought I was going to die.
We are in a flashback in a beautiful forest. Two unicorns are fondling each other in a wood.
I said to the Red Bull, I must have them. I must have all of them, all there are, for nothing makes me happy but their shining and their grace. So the Red Bull caught them.
We see a scene similar to the butterfly scene, showing the Red Bull driving unicorns into the sea.
Each time I see the unicorns, my unicorns, it is like that morning in the woods, and I am truly young in spite of myself.
We are back on the balcony.
And you're the last.
My lord, I do not understand. I see nothing at all in that water.
Do you still deny yourself? Do you dare still pretend to be human? I'll hurl you down to the others with my own hands if you dare deny yourself.
What are you saying?
It must be so. I cannot be mistaken. Yet your eyes, your eyes have become empty as Lear's, as any eyes that never saw unicorns.
He looks deeply into her eyes, and he sees only his reflection.
Well, it makes no difference. I can wait. The end will be the same. I can wait.
He leaves. Lady Amalthea puts her head into her arms and begins to sob.
He's mad, mad.
Schmendrick walks up to comfort her.
Shh, don't. It's all right. We'll find them. Come on, come to me. Oh, please don't cry. If you've become human enough to cry, then no magic in the world can change you back. Just come with me. Shh, don't cry. I promise you will find them.
We're back in the Great Hall. Schmendrick, Molly, and Amalthea are standing before the skeleton, which is laughing like crazy.
Shut up, you pretentious kneecap. How would you like a punch in the eye?
Schmendrick, you made it laugh anyway. Maybe that's all you need for the riddle.
It isn't.
No. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. Oh, you can speak exactly like that. Schmendrick, it worked.
Come on, ask me how to find the Red Bull. Even Prince Lear doesn't know the secret way, but I do.
So you do, eh? Answer the riddle then. Tell us the way.
Well, say please.
Please?
No, no.
Why not? What kind of game is this?
It's so nice to have someone to play with. Try me tomorrow. Maybe I'll tell you tomorrow.
But we have no time. We may be too late now.
I have time. I got time enough for all of us.
Never mind him. Give me the wine. Let me see what I can do with the wine.
Wine? Did you say wine? Speak up.
I couldn't find it. I looked everywhere. I thought if you had some surprise nut cake to start with.
Schmendrick glares at her while Molly presents a flask of water, and the skull continues laughing at them.
Him, turn water into wine. What is he? Jesus?
Keep quiet. Let me have it. I'll give it a try.
He eyes the skull as he takes the flask and opens it.
Now you understand, it's not going to be very good wine. Vin ordinaire, if that. And it'll be too sweet, and, well, here goes.
He turns his back to the skull and mutters some words in a low voice.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, do it over here. I can't see anything. So I don't have eyes from the skull.
Schmendrick holds up the flask while his back is still to the skull.
Didn't work. It's weak at best. No nose, no body. Hardly any bouquet at all. Well, that's done it. That's finally done it.
He turns the flask upside down. It's empty. He makes a move to throw it away.
No way! Hey, don't do that! Give it to me if you don't want it, but don't throw it away.
The skeleton is reaching out for the flask in desperation.
But you're dead. You can't smell wine, can't taste it.
But I remember!
Well, if you should happen to remember the entrance to the Red Bull's lair as well as you remember wine...
Done! Just give me one drink, and I'll tell you anything you want to know.
You can have all of it after you tell us the way.
The way's through the clock.
The skull points across the hall to the busted-down grandfather clock.
Through that?
You mean when the clock strikes the right time, it opens and there's a secret stair?
The clock will never strike the right time. You just walk through it, and the Red Bull is on the other side. Now give me the freaking wine.
Walk through a clock? What am I, a magician?
To meet the Red Bull, you have to walk through time. How trippy is that? A clock isn't time, it's just numbers and springs. Pay it no mind, just walk right on through. Now about that wine.
Schmendrick gives it the empty bottle, and it drinks lustily. An alcoholic tinge lends itself to its cheeks when it's finished.
Ah, that was the real stuff. That was wine. You're more of a magician than I thought.
Let's go.
My lady, it's time. We're going to find the others now.
The skull drops the flask and becomes very angry.
Oh no. No, you don't. Not that one.
The skull's eyes redden, and as our heroes run to the clock, the skull sees Lady Amalthea's true form.
Unicorn! Haggard! Unicorn!
Run!
You always tell people run, bitch. Haggard! There they go! Down to the Red Bull. The clock, Haggard. There they go! Unicorn!
Haggard starts rushing down the stairs toward the Great Hall. He draws his sword. The heroes reach the clock.
Come on, go on through.
Amalthea enters the clock and disappears.
Schmendrick, I don't think...
Go on!
Molly also goes in. Haggard appears and tries to skewer Schmendrick. He tries to dodge him. Meanwhile, Molly and Amalthea are in a hazy, misty, strange place.
Prince Lear.
He comes out of the mists.
You would have gone without me?
I would have come back. I don't know why I'm here, who I am, but I would have come back.
No, you would never have come back.
Never mind all that. Where's Schmendrick?
Haggard is still trying to get Schmendrick. He nicks him on the head, but Schmendrick ducks through him into the clock.
Where is he? I'll go back for myself if you won't.
Schmendrick walks out of the mists. One hand is on his head.
Schmendrick!
It's all right, it's not deep. Lear, how did you know how to get in?
What was there to know? I saw where she had gone and I followed.
Haggard begins striking at the clock. Eventually, he destroys it, and it falls face down in the hall. The mists dissipate into a dark cavern.
Haggard has destroyed the clock. Now there's no way back and no way out but through the Red Bull's passage.
They begin the journey. Schmendrick is catching Lear up with the plot.
And the rest, we came here seeking unicorns and we have possibly found them at last.
I used to have a dream over and over about standing at my window in the middle of the night and seeing the bull, the Red Bull.
Yes, driving unicorns into the sea. It was no dream. Haggard has them all now, drifting in and out on the tide for his delight, all but one. That one is the Lady Amalthea.
Unicorn, mermaid, sorceress, no name you would give her would surprise or frighten me. I love whom I love.
Well, that's a very nice sentiment, but when I change her back into her true self,
I love whom I love.
Lady Amalthea overhears this.
I heard what you said. I will go no further.
there's no choice. We have to go on.
Lear, don't let him change me. The Red Bull has no care for human beings. We may walk out past him and get away.
If we do that, all the unicorns in the world will remain prisoner forever except one, and she will grow old and die.
Everything dies. I want to die when you die. I'm no unicorn, no magical creature. I am human and I love you. Don't let him, Lear. I will not love you when I'm a unicorn.
Malthea, don't.
Don't do that for a man.
Yeah, girl, no, absolutely not.
But don't let the quest, or then let the quest end here. I don't think I could change her back, even if you wished. Marry the prince and live happily ever after.
Yeah, that's my wish.
No. Milady, I am a hero, and heroes know that things must happen when it is time for them to happen. A quest may not simply be abandoned. Unicorns may not go unrescued for a long time, but not may go for a long time, or not time, but not forever. The happy ending cannot come in the middle of the story.
Oh my God, make up your mind. You want me? You don't want me? Like, what the hell?
He grabs her hand and they continue forward. Molly and Schmendrick follow.
But what if there isn't a happy ending at all?
There are no happy endings because nothing ends.
Okay. Mendrick, let her stay the way she is. Let her be.
That's not in the story. Lear knows that, and so does she.
You don't care. You don't care what happens to her or to the others just so you can become a real magician at last. You don't care.
I wish I didn't. I wish to God I didn't care about anything but my magic, but I do. I do.
Schmendrick.
The cavern glows red and the Red Bull appears. He runs straight for the Lady Amalthea. Lear grabs her by the hand and runs.
Molly, he knows, he knows.
They all run, but Amalthea's foot catches a rock and she trips.
Oh, my ankle, help me.
Amalthea, don't move.
He jumps in front of her, sword out. It burns up in his hands.
She'll be killed.
Lear is still guarding Amalthea. He stares down the Red Bull. From the distance, Schmendrick stands up straight and begins waving his arms.
Agu kogagnu mutariti kampona, kampona.
Lear!
Do something.
The power goes toward Lady Amalthea. She begins changing back into a unicorn.
Malthea.
The change is complete. The unicorn begins running.
Look.
The Red Bull has chased her to the edge of the sea. We see King Haggard looking down from a balcony atop the castle.
Schmendrick, do something. You have the power. I will kill you if you don't do something, which feels very out of character, but we're just going to roll with it.
I cannot. Not all the magic in the world can help her now.
Then what is magic for? What is the use of wizardry if it cannot even save a unicorn?
This is a way to get out of it. That's what heroes are for.
Of course. That's what heroes are for.
He jumps into the Red Bull's path, and the bull does not stop.
No, don't do it.
Lear's body is face down in the ground. It does not move. We see Haggard atop the fortress looking down at the scene with a little bit of regret. The unicorn looks at Lear's body and neighs. Her horn lights up and she begins attacking the Red Bull.
She's attacking.
She's fighting back.
The Red Bull's hoof touches the water. He turns around and begins walking into the sea. He is covered by water, and on the waves coming in, the unicorns ride. There are hundreds of them coming in on the tide. They begin running out to shore, and they circumvent Schmedrick and Molly, landing by Lear's body. They go around the castle, which begins to crumble. The floor breaks from under King Haggard's feet.
The last! I knew you were the last!
He gives a final laugh as he falls down to the sea. Some of the castle's pieces shrink and disappear in midair. Others fall into the sea. Back at the seashore, the unicorns have passed. Only one remains, who puts her head in Molly's tear-streaked face.
Oh, you stayed. You stayed.
The unicorn looks at Lear's body. She touches him with her horn and walks away before Lear awakes.
Father? Father, I had that same dream. No. I was dead.
The unicorn watches Molly and Schmendrick help him up from a mountainside.
I remember you. I remember.
Lear sees her run away from them. He goes to follow, but realizes she's already gone. We transition to a forest. Schmendrick and Molly are with Lear.
I will miss you. I never had any friends before.
He hugs each one.
We will come back.
I wish I could see her just once more to tell her all that's in my heart. She will never know what I really meant to say.
She will remember your heart when men are fairy tales in books written by rabbits. Of all unicorns, she is the only one who knows what regret is and love.
Lear gets on his horse and rides away. Schmendrick turns to Molly.
Come with me?
I will.
He helps her on her horse and they begin their journey. Later, we're in an open field at night. Molly is sleeping. Schmendrick has awakened to find the unicorn there.
You are a true wizard now, as you always wished. Does it make you happy?
Well, men don't always know when they're happy, but I think so. And you?
I'm a little afraid to go home. I've been mortal, and some part of me is mortal yet. I'm no longer like the others, for no unicorn was ever born who could regret, but now I do. I regret.
I am sorry. I have done you evil, and I cannot undo it.
No, unicorns are in the world again. No sorrow will live in me as long as that joy, save one. And I thank you for that part too. Farewell, good magician. I will try to go home.
Schmendrick nods. He wakes up Molly and they both see the unicorn shining before she dashes away. The end.
Thank you, guys. Oh my God. That was way funnier than I thought it was going to be.
God, that Prince Lear, man. Like, why are you so obsessed with me?
I just have so much love in my heart.
That's weird.
He told her like
The
50
card-
times he loved her. He's like, she's never gonna know.
Yeah.
And can we talk about why Schmendrick turned her into a pretty woman? Like it couldn't have been, some other animal. Like, come on.
Right.
Could have just been like a bunny or something. Who
Yeah,
knows?
exactly.
A cat?
That'll apparently write fairy tales in 100 years. Like, whatever. It's the most bizarre thing.
It'll be all the rabbits.
Wine drinking skulls.
Yeah.
Blushing
Yeah,
skulls. Yeah.
I was not
And
ready
maybe
for that.
this was a little spiked, and I think that it just worked out perfectly. But until we got to the skull part, I was a little,
Method acting is good.
right? Well,
I realized I had a line after that. I was too busy coping. So that one, I was.
it was amazing. I was like, I broke Kenna.
You definitely
Well, that and between that and King Haggard, the interpretation of King Haggard, because that was originally Christopher Lee, which if you know him, he's like a formidable dude. He was in freaking like Star Wars and shit. And then it's hey, it's great.
So how is this guy so manly? He's collecting unicorns, and it doesn't plan out that way for me.
Especially when he had all that fabric. I totally forgot that part. And Sean picked up on it.
Lear wasn't
It's a
even
lot of
son.
satin. Why is there so much satin? I don't.
You know
4
what?
men at arms. Like, come
There's
on
4
now.
men at arms and a bunch of satin and a gay magician. That's what's happening. The Haggards. Good old Haggies. Anyway. If you're still with us, thank you so much for tuning in. I feel like Dylan would have really loved this, so I'm glad that we were able to do it. If you haven't already, if you enjoyed what you saw, anything towards the Venmo here, Sarah, and those are dashes, dash together, dash DeWitt, and anything will go towards end of life celebrations, whatever. Dylan's left behind 2 kids. So anything right now would help them out. So definitely appreciate it. But glad we were able to have a little levity. And I do think he would have really liked this a lot. But again, I was Ginger. I was all the random animals, and that poor kitty's accent I could not figure out for the life of me. We had the amazing Danny as our narrator. Bless his heart for getting through that, because some of that was written by somebody else and then some of it I wrote, so he had to kind of navigate that. So
Thought it was
we had
beautiful.
wonderful, well, thank you. We had Michelle, aka our mom, who was Lady Amalthea / the unicorn and was awesome, and she don't need no man, and I love it.
Unicorn bitch. Like,
Right? We had wonderful Watson as our Schmendrick. Perfection. Loved it. Even the weird, creepy farmer dude. Loved it. We had Sean, aka Dad, as Prince Lear, our golden retriever energy. And Captain Coley, who was kind of Harvey Firestein. I loved it.
My throat was dry, and I was just like, I'm gonna roll with it. I don't know. I'm doing this now.
It was fantastic. I loved it. And Kenna as Mommy Fortuna and as Molly Grew. Awesome. Loved it. Sorry I broke you. And our amazing King Haggard, Stephen freaking Shore, for making this awesome. And I appreciate y'all all. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm not sure when we're coming back. Usually we try to do something for Halloween, so maybe we'll come up with that. But we'll discuss, and hopefully we'll be at you in a month or two. Otherwise, y'all have a good night. Thank you so much.